automating the payments and renewal, right? Everything that's on that contract, terms and conditions and payments, goes automatically to the ledger. No more ops people looking at the contract, rewriting that and pushing it to SAP or pushing it to the financial ledger. It's automated because that bill of goods is sent directly and the terms are on there as well. And now with auto renewals and the ability to do it self-service, clients can come in through a portal solution and see the changes in their contract and also get the amenities. So if it's time to upsell them and say, hey, you haven't been here in a year, you send them an email, the email comes in, they click on the email, they say, okay, I go into the system, and now it greets them. I know who you are as a client, I know what transactions you are, and now I have a better offer for you. So you see it's that onboarding the payment solution that we deliver here at Apttus. So where do you start? And it's simple. The contract lifecycle management really begins with the process of having the accessibility and compliance. That's the first level of maturity. Having accessibility of the documents and complying, making sure that if SEC or FINRA came in or whomever, FCA if in Europe, they could look in your system and find the documents. That's number one. Number two, analysis for action, right? You want to make sure that you're analyzing all the information. How many clauses do we have? What's in the clause library? How many people are stopping the system? Where are the hiccups in the system? And you can analyze that and see what's going on. So some people are usually between those first and two stages. We see the maturity growing up with now you can control the language, right? Draft 100% approved playbooks. Have playbooks ready because you know the contracts that you're dealing with. You know the clients you're dealing with. That's already ready. The steps are engaged. And so as it's going through the process, you know step 1, step 2, step 3 for this type of contract, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5 for that type of contract. And those playbooks are set, the clauses are set, and the disclaimers are set as well. As you move up, you start to get perfect execution. Again, it's evaluating where you are on this value chain, all right? Obligation management. In other words, what obligations are tied to every contract, and you can know what's gonna happen even for those conditional and optional obligations. And then finally, full automation. And this is where it really is a nice segue when you start talking about what Microsoft is bringing to the table. Now you're fully integrated and you can integrate across the framework with different solutions. You can start to move up the value chain for the business, not just contracts, but actually producing real live value, doing proposals and managing that all the way, using different objects like SharePoint and different things of Teams, and we'll talk about that more, and leveraging like I said, the software you have in place without ripping out infrastructure to still move the business forward. So all of that is starting to increase ROI, right? And then you start to get into the areas where now you're starting to add more layers, where you can do Apttus intelligence, where you have the import scans. You can also add machine learning to analyze behavior over time, and that behavior can be more automated. And then finally, you have conversational capabilities where you can now speak to the systems, and the systems can react to you based on AI and based on voice interaction, and now you're getting a more complete digital office. Now the office is working for you. Not that you just return the investment on the investment you made with Apttus and the solution, but you're getting business driving from that solution. Now you're getting exponentially more sales and exponentially more deals. And that's really what we saw through the process. We're seeing clients say, look, we see that it delivers results. We're seeing faster reports. We're seeing faster contract processing. We're even seeing contracts auto-renewed at a better rate and a better clip. And that is all revenue generation. It's not just savings, it's not just cutting back on costs, but it's actually producing revenue. So now with that, as you think about the CLM as the baseline platform, now you think about how do we add components like we'll talk about with proposal management. And to do that, I'm going to bring my esteemed colleagues up, Chad Hamlin, as well as Guillermo Kopp from Microsoft, and they'll tell you more about proposal management and tell you how Microsoft is enabling the digital office to move forward in financial services. Guillermo?
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Guillermo Kopp. I'm with the worldwide financial services industry team at Microsoft. I have 30 years in my career in financial services, to include having served for 16 years at Citibank in various line of business and technology roles. We are going to discuss together with my colleague Chad Hamlin, who's going to come next, how Microsoft has built a first-party solution that takes this fantastic middle office that you see today with Apttus and contract lifecycle management into a higher level of resonance with the business. As you well know, banks are digitizing their operations, and this concept of digital banking is taking many shapes and forms. One of the core elements that we captured is the process that is known as loan origination. So yeah, in the corporate world, it's okay to onboard a corporate customer, but in order for that customer to be operational, you need to have a line of credit, get some funding for the customer to operate. So that's where loan origination comes. And what we did is automated a process that is more oriented not on the middle office alone, but also reaching to the front office. Those are the relationship managers, the sales team, if you wish, of a bank, their interactions with their own clients, and also a cross-group collaboration with loan officers, with credit risk officers, with compliance officers. So that's what we focused on this proposal management suite. Why did we focus on proposal management? Because it's a highly competitive environment with low interest rates. The margins have been eroding. So corporates shop around and they are looking for the best deals from different banks. And there are disruptive forces in the industry. There are fintech competitors trying to get a piece of the action as well. The other area that is key to this cross-group collaboration is non-existing. If you look at the tension within a bank between a risk manager and a relationship manager, trying to get the best deal for the customer on the one side and trying to protect the interests of the banks on the other side, there's forth and back. And that forth and back slows things down. So not only do you need the middle office, but you need a vehicle for these functions to work together. So today, proposal management is a very disjointed process. Number one, it takes a lot of paper. There are client documents, there are internal documents from the bank, and there's a lot of information coming from internal systems in the bank and external sources of information as well. Typically a loan origination system or as well as a credit risk management system. So what you see in the chart is the components that make up this process. As I said, very fragmented, a lot of friction, and it takes too long to go through the process. Needless to say, many banks require the approval of any credit transaction for a corporate that's in the tens and maybe $100 million range. They need approval from a credit committee. And putting all the internal documentation, we call it an offering ticket, and making it into a formal proposal to the customer delays. And because it's a competitive environment, what happens is that another bank may get there earlier. So this technology transforms the process, and the digital transformation brings a more cohesive process from end to end, soup to nuts, in a manner that relationship managers, wherever they are interacting with the client or back in the bank, trying to make the deal team work together, they can operate seamlessly. The other thing that happens is that the client documents amount to 80, maybe 100 different documents, financial statements, collateral assets that get pledged, legal documents, guarantees, and all that documentation needs to be factored in to calculate the rates and start putting together a proposal. As I said, a commitment letter has many terms and conditions, of course the pricing in the form of rates, and internally the bank needs to assess and be crystal clear on the risk that is attached to that particular client, whether it's onboarded recently or not, and also the structure of the credit facility. At times that creativity combines bank products. It's not just a loan, it's probably embedding an interest rate swap to make it more competitive, more appealing to the customer. So that's where the solution comes in. And what it does, it's automating the front office. It's built on top of the Microsoft 365 platform, what was a combination of Office 365, Windows 10, and mobile data management and some security and compliance features. So this platform is the enabler, and it provides a native collaboration interface. What we've done is developed an application on top of it that is highly customizable, and I will invite my colleague, Chad Hamlin, to walk you through some of the screenshots. Chad, all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Guillermo. So as Guillermo mentioned, this is a solution that we're actually in the process of developing currently at Microsoft. We're going to have the first release of it next week. I think probably Corey alluded to the fact that this solution is very complementary to the contract management solution of Apttus. Really look at this as being a virtuous cycle of creating the proposal, tracking the proposal, proposing the proposal to the customer, and then using Apttus's contract management solutions for the final kind of contractual details. So I'm going to walk you through a brief preview of the solution in about 10 minutes or so. One of the things we want to do with this solution is focus on the collaboration that is involved in a complex corporate lending proposal management process. So you can see here with Microsoft Teams, I can go in and look at a list of people that I want to collaborate with. Maybe I want to identify a loan officer. Maybe I want to work with a compliance officer. Maybe I want to work with a risk officer. I can go and choose each one of those individuals. I can create a virtual team. And then from there, I can start the collaboration process. Using the workflow capabilities within Microsoft Teams, I can also kind of map out the overall process flow for the proposal I'm going to be working with my teammates on. So you can see here, we have an initial V team creation, then we have a draft proposal. We then have some different elements around compliance, risk, and legal. We then have a phase around creating the draft of proposal, taking a look at the proposal, doing the final approval of the proposal, and then ultimately the actual presentation of that proposal to the customer. In each one of these stages, I have an assigned owner, so I can reach out to them if I want to. I can check on the status of each individual phase, and if I want to, I can also insert different tasks and activities associated with those phases. So one of the things that we're really trying to do with this solution is get rid of a lot of the busy work, take away a lot of the disjointed processes, and reduce the manual work that's involved in a complex proposal management process, and really streamline and unify that process across the organization. And workflow is one way that we are enabling that. In addition to that, we have the concept of assigning content sections. So in a complex proposal, you may have different sections that the team is collectively working on. Maybe you have an introduction, maybe you have the actual credit terms, maybe there is some information about the customer, maybe there are legal and compliance sections. So I can actually go and assign each one of those sections to an individual. I can track when they started the work. I can see when it was completed. I can see if there's been a new document that's been uploaded for that. And so I have visibility as either a relationship manager or a loan officer, where I can see kind of all the different elements that are involved in that proposal. I can see who is on point for that. I can see the progress of that. And then I can allocate each of those sections to those owners and then track the individual progress of those sections and ultimately have all of those sections be pulled together for a holistic proposal at the end of that process. And this is once again using the collaboration capabilities of Microsoft Teams. In addition to that, we realize that there's kind of a lot of daily tasks and activities that are taking place around a proposal, especially a complex corporate banking one. So I can track all the outbound activities and notifications. I can send notifications to my team members. I can also receive notifications from them as well. And this allows me to kind of track all the different activities and kind of various tasks that need to take place in kind of one rolling list, and gives me the ability to make sure that nothing is falling through the cracks and that all the needed tasks and actions are taking place in a timely manner. In addition to that, another area that we really focused on is the mobile usage scenario. We felt it was very important to enable the relationship manager, the loan officer, to take the work with them wherever they're going. So we've enabled kind of a mobile paradigm here with this solution. As a loan officer, as a relationship manager, I can take all of the details around this proposal with me. In this particular case, you can see that I can see all of the conversations that I'm having with my team members around this proposal. I can see any notes that they've uploaded. I can see any documents that they have uploaded around this proposal. So it really allows me to kind of take the office outside of the branch. Allows me to go meet with a customer on site at their premise or a third-party location, keep track of all the details that are taking place around this proposal, and really kind of make productive time outside the office. In addition to that, I can track the status of each individual section of the overall proposal management workflow. I can see where we are in each one of those steps. I can see who is on point for that, and I can see the progress associated with each one of those steps. And then, of course, we can also provide the ability to view the files in an online mobile environment. So if I want to open the file, review it, if I want to make some notes, some comments, I can do that right on my mobile device. Typically, the heavier content creation would be done more in the office, but it's certainly important to be able to view and edit those documents on the go. Another feature that we had was the concept of a checklist. And what we really want to do here is make sure that none of the elements fell through the cracks. So we have kind of a running checklist that any of the personas can create. They can create a checklist around compliance, around legal, around credit, around the actual sales proposal. They can track each one of those individual items associated with that checklist. They can upload documents. They can share that with their team members. So really trying to streamline and unify the process so that all the different complexities that are involved in proposal management, in the midst of that there's no missing pieces, there's nothing that falls through the wayside, and you can kind of track all the elements and documents and activities that need to take place. And then, of course, with the Microsoft Office Suite, we have very rich content creation capabilities. We provide you with the ability to use the rich content creation editing capabilities of SharePoint. You can use some of the pre-built templates that we have that allow you to kind of jumpstart or kickstart that content creation process. You can also use a new feature that we offer in Microsoft 365, which is called Smart Link. And what it does, it allows you to identify a third-party data source. Maybe it's a financial report. Maybe it's some information about the company, public filings. You can take that information, you can associate that in the actual target source, and then any time that that data source is updated or changes, the target source will also have that update take place automatically. So now we're trying to not just enable the raw content creation, but also trying to give you the ability to bring in third-party data sources and use that right inside of the proposal management solution, and allowing you to kind of have a richer experience as you go and create that proposal. So I'll just kind of wrap up here in saying that I think we really do have a great combination here with Apttus. We both are global, scalable organizations. I think Apttus has a very strong contract management solution. We're providing very much a solution focused on the proposal management side of the house. Combined really can help you kind of manage that process end to end. I know that we're both investing a lot in AI and analytics, and certainly we have a lot of experience in financial services. So I know we went through this pretty quickly. It was a little bit of kind of a preview of the solution. If you have any questions or would like more information, happy to answer any questions you have either here or after the session. We will also be providing some more details about this specific solution once we launch it internally next week. It is a little bit of a new initiative for us at Microsoft, in that we are creating an industry-focused solution on top of M365, which has traditionally been more of a productivity platform. We're really trying to elevate that now to also a business solution that addresses very industry-specific pain points. In this case, I think Guillermo might have alluded to as well, we really built this solution from the ground up, thinking about the business usage scenarios and the pain points of banking customers, like many of you that are in the audience today. So we hope that it was of interest, and I'll turn it back over to Corey to see if he has any closing remarks. Yeah.
That's great, Chad.
Yeah. Oops. Sorry.
No, I think that was great, and I think what we were able to show you is a combination of partnership and really leveraging technology in your business and working with partners like Microsoft and working with Apttus. So with that, we thank you. And like we said, we'll be available throughout the conference if you have any questions. And with that, have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.